And then she asked if the Rottweiler barked, and Alexia just literally said, F you, Stephanie.
Yeah, that went south real
And
quick.
Stephanie's like, well, you told me yesterday I was a Chihuahua and you were a Rottweiler. I said, well, yeah.
Right.
Alexia's like, yeah, well, I have a name and it's Alexia. This is what I mean
Alexia
about.
says, don't fuck with me.
Yep.
But
Yep.
she called herself a Rottweiler.
Yep, she sure did.
She needs to calm down, Alexia.
So then Larsa's like, okay, Stephanie, I gotta go. Like she wants to get her off the phone. And she's like, I don't know. She's just too serious, Alexia. And she really thinks that she's a queen bee. She really does. And she's not.
Teresa.
And she's not. Welcome to We Wine Whenever. Grab your glass and join 3 Jersey Shore housewives, Wendy, Kelly, and Lori, as they dive into everything from Bravo drama to life's everyday chaos. It's unfiltered, it's hilarious, and it's the real talk you've been waiting for, from relationship to pop culture. We drink wine whenever, and we hope you do too. Don't forget to subscribe and give us a 5-star review. Cheers! Hi, welcome to We Wine Whenever. I'm Wendy.
I'm Kelly.
We are talking about Real Housewives of Miami, Season 7, Episode number 8, Dueling Yachts.
Before we talk about that, should we tell them who we saw tonight?
Yes, we should.
We decided to take a ride to Seaside because it was a beautiful night, and we went to Bum Rogers in Seaside. And Melissa and Joe Gorga were there with Antonia and other people we didn't recognize.
Yes.
So when we were leaving, we stopped by the table and said hi and had a nice little chat with Melissa.
We did, and she was very nice.
Always, as always.
She's always very nice. Yeah. It's always nice to run into a Jersey housewife when you're out and about, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's why we love living where we live, because it happens.
It does happen.
Yeah. Oh, my God. I just saw on Facebook Lonnie Anderson died.
Oh.
Yeah.
How old was she?
I think she was turning 80. She was 79. She was born in 45.
Oh, that's sad.
I know. So may she rest in peace.
Yes. So we start out with Julia talking to Martina. She's talking about, she was still upset about the way Guerdy behaved at the party. She said Adriana, she thought that Adriana told her that she should go back and hash out her, show her text and hash out her truth. And she feels like that there's some resentment towards her because Marisol and Alexia are friends with her now. Like she thought Adriana should have just come out there and stood by her and, given her blind loyalty. And Adriana's like, no, I think you should go back in there and hash it out and show your text messages, tell your truth. And
right. And she said that she feels like she didn't follow her out because Marisol and Alexia like Julia.
Right.
I mean, what grade are we in?
Yeah.
Between Miami and OC, it's very middle school Mean Girls.
It really is. It really is. We do find out though, because I didn't realize this when it was happening, that Julia did walk back in after that, and she went up to Guerdy and she said, what was the point of you doing this? And Guerdy said she was trying to answer her, and they show it, and Julia keeps over talking her. She doesn't even allow her to answer, and she said, like, what are you here for, girl? Like, go home. If you don't want to hear what I have to say, then don't come back in here and ask me the question.
Right.
And then she insulted her sneakers, by the way.
My God. How about Martina, though? She announces that she was allowed to wear her Chanel sneakers in the royal box.
Yes. Yeah.
Come on, Martina.
Seriously? Yeah.
Please stop.
I know. It really is so sophomoric, these fights. They really are.
Exactly.
Next, we see Stephanie meet up with Larsa. They're at Stephanie's soon-to-be new house. It's under construction. We find out that it was Masood's house with his ex-wife, and that shortly after the divorce, he moved out of it, and they moved into the condo. But Masood wants to move back into the house, but Stephanie is not moving back into that house until she can make it her own.
Like, gut it.
The house is 22,000 square feet.
Even the backyard she's gutting.
Everything. And she's moving the pool. Like, she's really she's moving the pool. Like, there is a pool there and she doesn't like where the pool is, so she's moving the pool.
Just buy a different house, Stephanie, if you're that insecure about living in your husband's first wife's. I've listen, no offense to anyone, any second wife out there. My personal experience with a couple of second wives. Not all of the second wives I know, but there are a couple of second wives in my life that I've come across that are extremely insecure about the first wife. They are not secure enough in their marriage. And they're very, envious still or just insecure about the first wife.
That's interesting.
Stephanie gives me that vibe. Not that she thinks like I think Stephanie knows she did something wrong, and maybe that's where it comes from.
I mean, it could be. She does say we see some pictures of the outside of the house. The old style of Miss Sue's house was very Persian, and that is not her style. And I mean, that is a very distinct style. And I would imagine in Miami, that is not the normal style. It's more
I
of,
would imagine not.
it probably stands out. And I'm curious to see what it like winds up looking like. I mean, if it's going to be a totally different house, then, you know, I don't know. Maybe it's warranted. But we do find out that her closet alone is 1,000 square feet. And she's going to have an entire wall full of Birkins. She wants a wine cellar, a gym, a spa, a makeup room, staff quarters, and separate entrance for the staff. I want all those things too, Stephanie.
Me too. I don't need the wall for the Birkins because whatever.
You don't
I'm
have
not.
any. I don't need the wall. Oh my gosh. And then we find out all the relationships she has with Birkin. Did we find this out here? Did I see this on something else?
You must have, and I watched this on Peacock too.
Okay, so I saw her on something else. I don't know where
So
she was
this is
on.
why she keeps name dropping Birkin.
She
Do
has
tell.
relationships in like a Birkin in every country, and she talks about them. She's got relationships in Miami, in like Toronto, in Milan. Like she has relationships, and that's not common. That's why she has so many, because I'm sure you know it's not easy to get a Birkin. You can't just walk in and get a
No.
Birkin, which is insane to
Right.
me. It's insane to me.
Right.
I'll be honest with you. The whole Birkin thing is kind of elitist, and I love a handbag. I do. But
Me too.
I do like that one Tiffany Moon kind of, and she has many Birkins herself, has kind of given the green light and the okay for the fake Birkins, the Firkins, as so has Bethany Frankel. Bethany Frankel sold all her Birkins, and now she is full steam ahead on all these fake bags that have the same
90
quality. I know that's,
is
yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
it's stupid.
I
It's
agree.
just stupid.
I agree it is. I mean, to think about it, like, you know, you don't want to tell people how to spend their money, right? If they have this
No.
massive wealth, you don't want to tell them how to spend their money, but you just think about it. Like this bag, $98,000. Like, do you know how, and again, it's not your job to feed these people who don't have food, but do you know how many people that could feed?
That
Do you
could
know
help
how many, do
in
you know
our
how many
own
people,
country.
right? Do you know how many people that could help with, you know, housing and food insecurities? Again, it's not like it's your job and it's your money and you spend it any way that you want. Absolutely. I just, I agree with you. And again, I like a nice handbag.
Yeah, of
I
course.
like luxury items, but I just think that $1,000 for a bag is absolutely insane. I just do.
Insane.
I do.
Insane.
Stephanie's saying how she'd like to have a housewarming party and she wants to invite all the ladies, but she doesn't want any bad juju. I'm like, well, then maybe you don't invite all the
What
ladies.
do you mean she's having a housewarming party? That house is going to take years to finish.
Yeah, I don't
So
know
what are we
when.
doing? Are we
I don't.
doing the whole Heather Dubrow and Terry Dubrow when we met Megan? Remember what was her name? Megan King.
When did
Remember
do
they
it on
did
the
that
lot?
housewarming party on a piece of vacant land?
On the land, yeah, on the lot.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
not do that, please.
Yeah. I don't know when she's planning on having it, but I don't know if you can have one and invite all the ladies and not expect some bad juju because that's
Yeah,
what's coming, right?
exactly. Right.
Then they start talking about what happened at Guerdy's event, and Stephanie said it was just too much. She said, you know, I'm very opinionated. And Larsa goes, well, what else? And Stephanie said, well, we can just finish looking at the house. And Larsa's like, no, like I want to know, like, what else? I thought it was interesting that Stephanie's like, well, no, like, let's just finish. Like, I don't want to really get into this with you. But
Right.
she's
But
like,
why'd you bring it up then?
yeah. She's like, you know, can we just finish? She's like, I feel like you know, you got it all. I thought you got it all off your chest with Alexia. Stephanie's like, but the way she talks to everyone, And it's true. I mean, the way Alexia does talk to people, she thinks that she is the queen bee.
100%.
And she's like, Steffi said, by the way, does she talk to everyone like that? And Larsa's like, well, she does talk to everyone and she does. It's not,
She does talk to everyone.
she does. Larsa's like, well, you keep bringing up Todd. She's like, but I was just trying to build her up. I was trying to tell her that when God takes out the garbage, you don't go back and get it. And I guess those are harsh words to refer to someone's husband as garbage, but
that's a good friend.
Yeah, she was trying to tell her, you don't need this. And she's like, and I haven't been to a good event with you guys since I've been in this friend group. Everyone, and by the way, all Alexia does is belittle me and put me down. She never said anything negative about Alexia. She did only say positive things like, you're better than Todd. Why are you accepting this? And Larsa's like, well, the boat's going to be a really good event on Friday. And then we see before the event, her and Kiki are trying to figure out, now we need 2 boats because these women can't be together. And it's an overnight
because they're
boat
doing an
trip.
overnight, right? They did an
Yes.
overnight. Yeah.
It's an overnight boat trip. It's not like we're going out for a couple hours. They're going to be sleeping on this boat.
Yeah. Well, listen, those boats looked like how many people, we watched Below Deck, how many people can get on those boats? Then those boats weren't nearly as big as Below Deck boats, so.
Yeah, they weren't as big. And, we didn't
They probably had to split them up anyway.
I don't think they did because they originally had one boat. So we see Larsa and Kiki trying to arrange the boats, and Larsa's going to have Stephanie and Alexia and Julia, and she wasn't going to have Marisol. She was going to have Marisol on with Guerdy and Lisa and Adriana, but then she calls up Marisol and tells her who's going to be on her boat, and Marisol's like, I don't like it. I don't enjoy being around Adriana. And so then they move Marisol to Larsa's boat.
Okay, 2 things. 1, I don't believe for a second that Alexia was not going to have Marisol with her at any point. 2, Marisol, you're a friend of. You have no say in this. You can fucking stay home because you're a friend of. And I wish she did stay home because she has such a stick up her ass.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
Yeah, we will. Then we see Peter goes over to Alexia's house, her new house that she's renting on a month-to-month lease.
That's got to be stressful, month to month.
I mean, I think
that's got to be stressful.
Yeah. We find out that Frankie has been sick and he was in the hospital. He was diagnosed with diverticulitis after he was in the ER.
I believe that's very, very painful when that flares up, right?
Yes. But at least they know what it is now. So,
yes.
So that they can, try and manage it. I mean, I think once you have it forever, but it can be managed, right? So then Frankie, Peter and Alexia are talking about when they walked in the hospital and they saw, Frankie in the hospital, it brought them back to 2011 after Frankie had his accident. And they both were affected by that. Alexia has a conversation with Peter that she's going to make him Frankie's guardian if something happens to her. He's 32 years old now. I guess back when she was married to Todd, I mean, she still is married to Todd, Peter was not in the position to be a guardian to Frankie, but I guess she feels that now he's grown up a little bit, and I guess because he's had some substance use issues in the past, and I guess she feels like that they're now under control and that he could be a guardian if need be.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he's matured a lot. Listen, I'm sure he's watched himself on the show and reflected and, maybe made some changes.
Yep. Then we see Guerdy meets up with Nicole.
Yay.
That's when we see that crazy expensive Birkin and the matching shoes. I love Nicole. She looked great.
Somebody needs to check on Sheena because I don't know if you noticed this, but under Nicole's name, it just said Nicole. It didn't say Guerdy's friend. It didn't say former. It just said Nicole.
I didn't
and
notice
all
that.
I could think about was when Brock was on the screen and it said Brittany's friend.
Brittany's friend. That's so funny.
Somebody needs to check on Sheena.
So we see a picture of Nicole's daughter, and then they show a picture of Nicole's dad, and they really do look alike. Like I saw the resemblance, right?
Yes.
It was almost a year ago that, her father had passed, and she talks a little bit about that. And Guerdy wants to be there to support her during her postpartum. Nicole says she's excited to meet Stephanie, and then Guerdy FaceTimes her, and they meet via FaceTime. Nicole has said that she's very nice. Like, she doesn't have a problem with her. And I believe that. Like, that is not the reason She is not on this season. It's 100%
No, I
not the
mean, he
reason.
dated her 20 years ago. Like, who cares?
Right. Right. It just is interesting, though. Isn't it interesting that they come up with someone that Anthony dated 20 years ago?
I'm
I
sure it
mean,
was on purpose.
is
And I'm
Miami
sure
that
that they
small?
thought that it was going to get a rise out of Nicole. But meanwhile, you got Marisol, the friend, hiring a private investigator, and Nicole decided not to come back anyway.
Yes.
But whatever, Stephanie's here. I couldn't understand what she said about the PJs, the private jets at the end. She was like, we both have private
Stephanie,
jets. Yeah. And then she like said something under her breath.
her private jet is bigger than Anthony's, but she's
I
not.
assumed that that's what she said,
Yes, but she's
but
not going to say that. But that's what she
you
was
just
saying.
did.
Yeah, that's what she was saying. Yeah.
Stupid. All right. I figured that. I figured it was something, just like she said, I used to be blonde, but it's so damaging.
Well, and then Nicole said she was thinking about going red, and she's like, "Oh my god!" I'm like, imagine if they were both redheads, like
Right.
whatever. And Nicole also said, there's got to be a lot of similarities in the two of them because Anthony is picky as f. So
Right.
we
Right.
know that that's Alexia. So Nicole said when she first saw Stephanie hanging out in the group, she didn't think that she was going to get along with Alexia because she said that Alexia likes people to bend the knee and Stephanie doesn't seem like the type to bend the knee. And I was
Mm.
like, she got that right. That's so
Yep.
true, right?
Totally. 100%.
And then Guerdy tells her about the event and what happened with Stephanie and how Stephanie stood up to them. And she went back in there, even though Alexia said, you're going to go in there and kiss Guerdy's ass. Nicole also said, which I liked, she stands by her friend, but if her friend does something she doesn't think is right, she tells her friend. So when Guerdy told her about what she said about Julia's facelift, she's like, you probably shouldn't have said that. Like, that's
Right.
something that, and, she shouldn't have. And Guerdy is like, yeah, okay, she probably shouldn't have said it, but she was mad and she said it. It is what it is,
Right.
right?
Right.
I like, though, that Nicole is like, I'm not afraid to tell my friends when they're doing something wrong. And she's like, I don't even know how we got to this place because it was just like a year ago that, like, we were all in your bed, like bringing you shakes. And now all of a sudden, this is where Julia's at with you.
Yeah.
And if
Like
you,
she said, she noticed a shift where like Julia's not even with Adriana anymore. And then Guerdy asks, what would it take for Nicole to come back to the group? And she's makes a face, and then she says TBD. They should get rid of Marisol and bring Nicole back. Marisol adds nothing to this show.
I agree.
I just don't see it.
I agree. I totally agree. I would give up Marisol in a heartbeat to get Nicole back.
Yeah, because Nicole's actually showing us her life, or her relationship, her children, her relationship with her father, like her mother. She's actually showing us her life. Marisol shows us nothing. I don't even know if she's really married to that guy.
I mean, they did get married like 3 times, so I think they actually really are
Exactly.
married.
Like, well, I know somebody else who just got married 3 times this year, but whatever.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. I guess maybe that's a thing now.
I don't know. I mean, once is enough for me. Who was it?
Amen to that,
Oh,
sister.
I just saw somebody on one of my Facebook friends just got married, but they're having like a big wedding ceremony, I think in like 2027, and they just wanted to be married right away. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, like, why would you put yourself through that? I get it that you want to be married, then be married, but then you're going to spend all that money
Right.
and do this big party. Like,
Right.
why? I don't get it. I don't get it. That's just me.
Is it a second marriage?
No, no. These are young people, actually. They're very young.
Okay.
They're young. Like, but they just wanted to be together. I was like, all right, be together. Like, but then
So maybe that is a thing.
maybe it is. Yeah. Maybe it is a thing. So it's the day of the yacht trip. I thought it was interesting that the yachts are like completely on 2 different docks. They're not even near each other. Like they boarded like in 2 separate
Yeah.
piers, which I was
Well,
like,
I think Kiki called in a favor at Miami Yachts, the guy she used to date, right? So I guess she had to go
yeah,
there,
yeah. I just thought that was interesting, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So it turns out that we have Larsa, Marisol, Alexia, Stephanie, and Julia. That's the one boat. And the other boat is Lisa, her friend Ebony,
Yeah,
who
I hope
she's,
she gave Kiki the heads up she was bringing a +1.
I'm sure she did. And Kiki
I
knows
hope
her
so.
too. Like Kiki also knows her.
Excuse me. Yeah.
And Guerdy and Adriana. Stephanie in her confessional says, Alexia said she'd rather not be on the boat with Stephanie. And she says, it's so it's too soon to throw someone underboard. Alexia says this. And she's like, oh no, I'm overboard. And when she was
overboard,
doing
yeah.
that, I was like, oh my God, she's so Teresa. Teresa would say the same thing. Like not know the
Absolutely.
difference between underboard or overboard.
100%.
Like, how do you mix those up?
They're the same person.
I swear to God, they really are.
And that's not a compliment to either one of them.
No, it's really not. It's
Not
not.
for me, at least.
No. So I thought it was so interesting that Stephanie shows up on the boat, but we find out she's not staying because her husband is taking her for a quick trip to Canada.
Yeah, what's that all about?
And I thought, I didn't know she was coming back the next day. I mean, literally, it was a quick trip. It was a date. It was a date night to Canada.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. That's kind of weird.
From Miami to Canada to come back to Miami the next day? I mean, am I missing something?
Yeah, something's not right.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they have a PJ, but
yeah, I don't know.
Where's Guerdy?
So Guerdy had an event.
Okay.
Found that out, I think, when she was on the podcast with
Tamara.
Teddy.
Okay.
She was on the podcast with Teddy. No, she had something that she was doing, so she came in late. So Kiki's explaining to her group that they had to split the group up, and Marisol said she didn't want to be on the yacht with Adriana, which, by the way, once we see how Adriana's behaving, I do kind of get it. I mean, she was very intoxicated, and she was
drunk, yeah.
Obnoxious. She really was obnoxious.
But I think she got more obnoxious and drank more because of what Marisol said. Because she knew Marisol. Don't you think? Like that kind of fueled her a little bit? I could be wrong.
I think it was, I mean, what did Marisol say? It was Adriana that was really poking the bear. She's the one who was yelling over there that you stole my best friend.
But that's what I'm saying. That was after Kiki told her Marisol doesn't want to be on the boat with you. I feel like when Kiki said Marisol doesn't want to be on the boat with you, it kind of fueled Adriana to drink more and act
Kiki should never have told her that. She
Absolutely
really shouldn't have. She should
and
never
she
have
even
told her.
said it. Maybe I shouldn't have told her.
Yeah, no, she definitely shouldn't have. Adriana keeps talking about how horrible Marisol is and how she doesn't have any talent.
She said, F off, you old whore.
I mean, when she was talking about her knees and her saggy, I was like, oh my God. Oh my God.
As Stephanie's saying, I hope you all get along and that we have a good time. As she's saying that, Adriana's talking about Marisol getting plastic surgery to her bony knees.
And Marisol's yelling back something like, well, this is my third husband or something. Like, at least I have, I was like, oh my gosh.
It was not great shade going back and forth.
No, it really wasn't.
Marisol talking about Larsa's ass. Yeah, it's so fantastic because it's fake.
I don't think it's that fantastic. I actually think it's
too big.
It's just too big. It's just too much.
If it were natural, not fake, okay. But you could tell. You can so tell.
Yeah.
I mean, that was in her Kim Kardashian stalker phase.
Yeah. So then Larsa asks Alexia and Stephanie if they're cool now. And Alexia's like, yeah, we've always been cool, but I don't like that you barked at me, to Stephanie. And she's like, I didn't bark at you. She's like, yeah, you're like a chihuahua. And Stephanie said, well, you barked at me first. And she's like, yeah, but I'm like a Rottweiler. And I'm just like, oh my God. And then Stephanie's like, well, I'm a wolf. And I was like, all right. Little do we know that this whole thing is going to come back again, right? This whole Chihuahua, Rottweiler.
Yeah, that conversation was very silly with the animals. That was very.
That's when Adriana starts yelling, Marisol, you induce craziness. Marisol said, that's why I'm not on that boat. Adriana's like, you have to stop manipulating everybody. Yeah, she said, actually, those are her exact words. Fuck off, you old whore. Because I wrote it down. And Julia, that was bad. Julia in her confessional is like, I don't know what got into her. She's not a fun drunk, unlike Marisol. So she's saying Marisol's a fun drunk.
I guess.
Lisa in her confessional says, drinking is poison. It's actual poison. That's why I stopped drinking, except for today. I'm like, Lisa.
She takes a sip of her cocktail.
I'm like, Lisa.
It's so funny.
And that's when, then Adriana yells, they lured my best friend over there. She's trying to be with the cool girls. One day she's going to realize they're not cool girls. They're just mean cougars. Stephanie's like, before I go, I hope you guys have a really good time. Then that's when Adriana's like, go get plastic surgery on your wrinkled knees. Marisol said, this bony ass has got 3 husbands. So I can't, she just can't help herself. Marisol talks about Larsa's butt. She's like, I've touched it. I've squeezed it. And it's so yummy and delicious. I'm like, what? Wait.
It's fake.
We're talking about Larsa's ass this way? Seriously?
Right.
I don't get it. There's no cellulite. The thing is perfection. I'm like,
It's
stop.
fake. She paid for it.
Then Kiki, we see her and the girls loading up the water guns, and they go over to
Super
the other
cute.
boat. Yeah, that was cute. They go over to the other boat, and they're going to be the Bond girls with the water guns. The whole time, Adriana is totally antagonizing Marisol with that water gun.
Marisol is such a stick up her ass. That's not funny.
Yeah,
Actually, it's very funny. You're on a yacht and you're wearing a bathing suit. And if you're
yeah,
not wearing a bathing suit, you should be wearing a bathing suit. So relax or go home. You're a friend of. We don't need you here.
yep, yep. Then we see Adriana and Julia are talking. The two of them are talking, and Julia asked her why she didn't stay behind with her. And Adriana said, well, someone has to mediate. And Julia said, well, that was wrong. And Adriana's like, well, I don't condone what you did. Like, I don't condone this. And then Adriana brought it up. She's like, this whole thing started when Julia threw the water in Guerdy's face. And she thinks it's that putting the receipts of the text message on the wall is more benign than throwing the water in someone's face, which I totally agree with. And
Totally
God
agree.
forbid
Because it's
Julia get called
physical. That's
out. Right.
physical.
Right. God forbid you get called out on her actions. I mean, a bunch of people did say, and I do have to agree, her putting the receipts up there, the text messages, was really kind of reminiscent of what Kenya did with the poster board, with the pictures that weren't of Brit, but we thought were of Brit.
Well, that's what I said last week. Like, these are where our standards are on Bravo. We're like, well, at
Right.
least she's not giving head. Like, this is
Right.
where we're at. This is
Yeah.
this is the bar
Yeah.
that you can go above or below.
Yeah. It's sad. It's very, very sad.
It is sad.
So then they're at Miami Beach Marina, and then Guerdy shows up for dinner.
Guerdy looks fantastic in hot pink, by the way.
Yes, she does. She does. She looked great. We find out that Kiki handpicked each dish so that they could get a taste of Haiti.
Yeah.
Then Lisa says, let's play a game. Let's go around and say a positive thing we like about each other.
Never
I was
works
like,
out.
no. Adriana says that she likes Marisol's fashion sense and she's loyal to Alexia like no one's business. All right, that was good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Marisol said to Adriana, I think it's really cool that you played the piano. I wish I could play the piano. I'm like, okay. Lisa's like, I'm really proud of you guys. I would love to hear Guerdy and Julia. You guys have some issues, so let's forget about those for now and let's, see what you can say positive. Guerdy says to Julia, you have a compassionate heart and it shows in everything you do in raising up these two young children, making them your own and giving them a most amazing future.
Mm-hmm.
Which was nice. Julia says, you know how to throw fabulous parties. I also appreciate how you honestly share your emotions without any hesitation. I cannot hide my emotions. I'm the worst actress in the world. Okay. Julia says we sat down and we had a conversation how we were going to move forward and we have the same desire to move forward. And Guerdy said, yes. Guerdy said, I honestly thought we did move forward. And then I got hurt again because then we see that what she did, which she brought it up to Daniel 10 days earlier when she asked the question about, how do you move forward with somebody? And her response was, well, I asked that question because he was there to help us and he's a professional. He was someone she hired off of TikTok. I mean, let's get that straight.
Exactly.
Let's just back this up a second. There was no professional there. There's some guy she found on TikTok.
And those exercises were dumb. That was
right.
So shady. They were so shady. The flag thing.
They were ridiculous. Guerdy said, well, I felt a different way about that. I just had to react in a way that may not have been amicable for you. Alexia said, well, why did you do that at your event? Alexia said, nobody here thinks what you did was okay. Nobody thinks it. Now, this wasn't for Alexia to talk about because it was between Guerdy and Julia.
Right.
Guerdy said, I'm not here to take accountability about what I did. I did what I did, and I don't care what other people think. And I agree with her. Guerdy said, Alexia, how is it affecting you? Guerdy said, I'm not saying I'm sorry for it. And she's right. It doesn't affect Alexia. Why is she interjecting in this?
Right.
And then in her confessional, Guerdy said, listen, I am a lonely lioness and I'm not a following sheep. And you know what? Good for you, Guerdy.
Absolutely.
Stand your ground. You don't have to bend a knee to Alexia. This wasn't for her to talk about. It did not affect her. And I love that you called her out on that.
Right. 100%.
And then
now, who brought up a dick pic? Because I have here, I don't ever want a dick pic. I'll take a scandalous text from a friend any day over that.
Yeah, because Guerdy said, it's not like who do I owe an apology to? You walked out like it was a dick pic, like, oh my God. And Alexia in her confessional is like, I would rather a dick pic. She said, you could have done a whole collage of dick pics. I wouldn't have been offended. I'm like, I would have been offended. Like,
I
are
don't
you
ever want
kidding
a
me?
dick pic from anybody.
I don't
Nobody.
either. No, I don't either. I
Keep
don't.
that shit to yourself.
And then Marisol's like, well, you included all of us when you did it in front of us. Guerdy said, well, she also did it in front of everyone when she assaulted me and she screamed at me at your wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Julia says she's looking for Adriana to defend her.
Yeah.
You better look somewhere else.
Yep. But meanwhile, Adriana's over there asking, like, where's the wine? Can somebody help me
Where's the
open the
more
wine?
wine? Meanwhile, they locked every bottle up at this point. They're like,
Right.
this bitch is not drinking
No,
anymore.
she's not getting any more wine.
So did you notice that when Guerdy asked Julia to have a private conversation, they like flashed to Alexia and like Alexia looked annoyed?
No, I did not notice that.
That's how I took it. I could be wrong. I'd like to know what the listeners think because
It
it
wouldn't
looked
surprise
like,
me.
yeah. Yeah.
So Guerdy says to Alexia, like, I understand that you have a deep friendship and it runs deep with her, but did you even read the text? And Marisol said no. And in the confessionals, Kiki and Larsa also, like, they didn't even read the text.
No, they said it was too long.
I mean, it's so stupid. These women are just so stupid.
They are very stupid.
And then, Alexia, Guerdy brings up about the water, she threw the water at me. Marisol says, well, that wasn't cool. Like, we never thought that was cool. Okay. But you didn't
But
stand
nobody
up to her.
said that it wasn't cool.
Right. You didn't stand up to her at the wedding. As a matter of fact, Kiki was trying to tell Guerdy to leave. And Guerdy wasn't the one who should have been leaving. Someone should have been telling
Julia to leave.
Julia to leave. I'm sorry, I couldn't think of her name. Yeah,
Absolutely.
someone should have been telling Julia to leave.
Yes, for sure.
So then Guerdy says to Julia, the question is, do you want to have a private conversation? Because if you'd like to move forward and, you need time to deliberate, then, absolutely. So Julia's like, yeah, I do. I do want to move forward, but right now it's too raw. So I think I'm going to need some time. Guerdy's like, yeah, absolutely. The next morning, the ladies are getting up, and Adriana obviously doesn't feel great because she's totally hungover, but she's hoping for a better day. Then we see Larsa call Stephanie. That's when I find out that she's coming back, and she's on FaceTime with her, and she asked, how it went. And then she asked if the Rottweiler barked, and Alexia just literally said, F you, Stephanie.
Yeah, that went south real
And
quick.
Stephanie's like, well, you told me yesterday I was a Chihuahua and you were a Rottweiler. I said, well, yeah.
Right.
Lexia's like, yeah, well, I have a name and it's Alexia. This is what I mean
Alexia
about it.
says, don't fuck with me.
Yep.
But she
Yep.
called herself a Rottweiler.
Yep, she sure did.
She needs to calm down, Alexia.
So then Larsa's like, okay, Stephanie, I gotta go. Like, she wants to get her off the phone. And she's like, I don't know. Like, she's just too serious, Alexia. And she really thinks that she's a queen bee. She really does. And she's not.
Teresa.
And she's not.
And she doesn't think that anybody should question her, or she thinks she's the show. So nobody should be saying a damn thing to her. You're not the show. It's an ensemble cast, just like every other friend.
I totally agree. So then on Watch What Happens Live, I don't know why I wrote Guerdy. It was Julia. It was Julia and Isaac Mizrahi. I don't know why.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, so it was Julia and Isaac Mizrahi. And I got to change that in my notes. I don't know why I wrote Julia down. I mean, I wrote down Guerdy. It was Julia and Isaac Mizrahi. And I do like Isaac Mizrahi, but I'll tell you what, I did not like him on this episode.
Sometimes he can be a little too much.
Yes. Also, Galena from the McBee dynasty was in the audience, and that's the CFO side piece. Just noted that. So the number one question for Julia was, why did you expect Russell to be nice to you after you threw water at his wife?
Exactly.
Martina was super rude to Guerdy, and all she did was fail to join a Zoom call. And Julia's response was, it's complicated. I wasn't expecting it. I just wanted to talk to him. And I don't think Martina was rude. She didn't want to make a scene at Lisa's party. What?
No, she was rude.
She was absolutely rude. And then he did some of his poll questions. And one of them was, whose side are you on, Alexia or Stephanie's? 92% were on Stephanie's side.
Come on.
Yep. Is Alexia a Rottweiler? 89% said yes. Should
See, she takes that as a compliment.
Well, we'll see, because she wasn't on. And when Stephanie called her a Rottweiler, it was a problem. Should Adriana have done more to have Julia's back? 70% said no.
No way.
Shading Marisol's wrinkly and bony knees, iconic or a total miss? 52% said it was iconic.
Wow.
Whose yacht would you rather have been on, Larsa or Kiki's? 75% said Kiki's.
Yeah, the other one, they're just miserable.
Isaac Mizrahi said Kiki's because he loved her swimsuit and she's the chicest. She's actually replaced him, Shannon Bedore, for him as the chicest
I'm
housewife.
telling you, her bathing suit, her outfit was adorable.
It was. It absolutely
Very
was.
sailorish, right?
Yep.
Oh, it was so cute. I mean, she's
Yes.
just stunning. Anything she wears, she's going to look adorable, but that was
Yeah.
really cute, that outfit.
It really was. It really was. And Isaac obviously noticed that.
Mhm.
Then behind the bar was Danny Murphy and Evan Reel from the Virtual Reality Podcast. And they're the ones
So
who
that's
were
who we're
doing,
going to see?
that's who we're going to see because they're doing the Virtual
Excellent.
Reality Awards at the City Winery in New York City on September 17th. We have our tickets, so we will see you there. Julia said that she apologized to Guerdy because, again, she really means it from the bottom of her heart. There's not a day that goes by that she doesn't regret it. Because Andy says, is there something you want to say to her right now? And she's hoping that at the reunion, this can finally be squashed. So much time has passed, and she knows watching it again is probably bringing up hurt feelings for Guerdy, but she's very sorry that, that she hurt Guerdy. Well, Guerdy talks about this the very next day on Teddy's podcast because she saw this the night before and she has a lot to say about it. And, Julia doubled down. She's had many chances to reach out to Guerdy. She has not reached out to her. And I do not think anything's going to change at the reunion. I don't.
I think that Guerdy's like me. Like once you burn me, I'll be around you. I'll
Right.
be cordial,
Right.
but it's never going back. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess most people are like that.
I don't know. Are they like? I don't know. Are most people like that?
I don't know. I
don't
mean,
know.
or I'll cut you off. I could do that too. I've done
Yeah.
that too. But
We'll have
if
to
she's
wait.
going to stay on the show, she has to at least be cordial with Julia. But
Yeah, she does. She
that's
does.
it.
This is why I didn't
Julia's
like.
going to go up in flames if she keeps chasing Marisol and Alexia.
I do
She's
not
going to
like.
go up in flames.
She really is. She really is.
They'll turn on her. They're not her friends.
No, they're not. They're not. This is when Isaac said that he's so glad that you threw that water on that lady. He didn't even know her name. And he said, why? He's like, well, I liked her, but what else would the season have been? And he's like, after Julia
See?
just gave this heartfelt apology, and then you
No.
said that, and like I said, he didn't even know her name. He said that lady. Well,
So
Guerdy.
you're promoting a physical altercation between two women
Yeah, that's when I was
for
like,
good TV? That's not good TV.
no. When Isaac said that, I was like, oh, I'm done with you, Isaac. I think I even have a couple Isaac Mizrahi shirts. I'm not going to wear them anymore. How do you like that, Isaac?
See, now you're doing it. That's what I say. I love the movie Girls Trip, but I hate Jada Pinkett Smith now after Will Smith punched Chris Rock in the face. So Girls Trip has been on all weekend. I won't watch it.
That's so funny.
I'm done. And I love that movie, but I hate her. Well, I strongly dislike her.
Yes, we don't hate, right?
Yeah, we don't hate.
Andy says to Julia, looking back, was it right that the ladies acted more harshly at the text reveal than they did at your drink toss? Julia said, I think the ladies were more horrified of the content and where the texts were displayed. No.
Horrified of what content?
Yeah.
She just proved that you asked her to go and she didn't offer to go.
Yeah, exactly.
There was nothing horrific about it.
It's not like the content was dick pics. Like
Exactly.
Guerdy said, it was text
Or
messages.
oral sex.
Right.
Like on Atlanta.
Andy asked Julia if she regrets bringing it back up again at the narcissist party. And Julia says no, because he was a healer. I thought he could help with the best way to solve the situation to move forward.
No, you were trying to have a moment, Julia.
Again, she's like doubling down.
Right. You were just trying to have a moment.
And then Andy said, was it really that big of a deal that Guerdy revealed that you were getting a facelift when Martina was in treatment? And Julia said, well, what was upsetting to me is that she revealed my facelift. I don't have anything to hide. I'm over it. And she said, I was more upset about her talking about Martina's medical condition. We all knew Martina was going through cancer treatments.
Right. You talked about Martina's medical condition.
And Andy said, by the way, your face looks superb. Andy said, asked, was it a full facelift? And she's like, well, it was a little bit of her neck and her chin and her eyes. I'm like, well, yep, that's a full facelift.
Okay, so that's a full face.
And then Juliet clarifies, well, I went to Paris to see my daughter Emma. Andy said, and get a facelift. Andy said, we have a lot of questions.
This is when Andy's so good. When he's when he's really getting to the nitty gritty.
Yes.
And putting his little snide remarks in, and he's not scared of Julia, so he'll do that. I don't know why he doesn't do it with all of them, but whatever.
No, I agree. Julia said, Martina, Andy. Oh, this is a really good one. Andy said, we have a lot of questions. People want to know what you thought about Martina's surrogacy comments.
Great.
I couldn't believe he asked it, right? So here she said, Julia said, Martina and I share a bed. We don't share a brain. She paused before she answered. She said, I completely believe in surrogacy and I don't agree with what she put out. And it was taken out of context. So, yeah, there's no context that that is allowed. But she did say she doesn't agree with it and she does support it. And listen, she didn't say it. I'm
But
glad.
that was the best thing Julia could have said.
Yep. And I'm glad that Andy asked the question. I'm so glad
Yeah.
that he asked the question because, like you said, he wouldn't have asked that question to other people,
No way.
right?
No way. He would have glossed right over that.
Then he's asking questions. So he asked Isaac his least favorite housewife, past or present. He doesn't have one. Julia, who in the group has had the best work done? And she said, Adriana. Isaac, how would you rate Lauren Sanchez's Vogue cover? He said he liked it. What is the one way in which Alexia is a better friend than Adriana? This was to Julia. She said, well, she wishes me well. Stupid.
That's very dumb.
And the next question was to Isaac. Who do you think is the most overrated designer of all time? He won't answer that.
Oh my God. Why are you there, Isaac?
I know. Julia, other than Guerdy, who is Martina's least favorite woman in your friend group? Adriana, she said. Back in the day, who is the one model you vowed you'd never work with again? He wouldn't answer it.
Oh my God. Isaac, you should never be on this show ever again.
I know.
Ever again.
I know. So that's all I have for Watch What Happens Live with Julia and Isaac Mizrahi. But I thought it was good that Andy asked the questions. I really did.
For sure. Yeah, I'm glad he did.
And like I said, Guerdy the next day was on Teddy's podcast and she said her truth and she's standing by it. She's not backing down. And I don't know if you heard the podcast, but Teddy started with, I just got fresh information from Princess Cruise Lines about the cruise. And it said that had Julia asked if Guerdy could have come to the dinner, they would have found a seat for her at the table with Captain Sandy
I'm sure.
from the cruise line.
I'm sure.
And Guerdy said, I'm vindicated. I knew it. I knew it. So that will all be at the reunion, I'm sure.
Yeah. So what about the rumor that, what did you say? That they're saying that Julia.
So there's a rumor out there that the whole reason Julia didn't want Guerdy at the dinner is because perhaps she wanted to sleep with Captain Sandy.
This is a rumor.
Just
alleged.
a rumor. This is alleged. And this was again 2 years ago. So I believe it was prior to Captain Sandy getting married.
Could have been prior to her getting engaged, no?
Listen, 2 years ago is a very hard timeline for me to follow. It could have been.
Yeah.
Could have.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what season of Below Deck she did. The Aisha was on with her.
Yes.
So it was the last season of Med. Well, whatever. I'm not going to try to do it now.
Like, that's the thing. It was such a long time ago. I mean, this is
Yeah.
2025. I think we're talking about 2020. They filmed this in 2024. So I think we're talking about 2022 at this point.
Right.
Right?
God. Yeah.
I don't know, but it's a long time ago. It's a long freaking time ago. So that's all I have for Miami. Until next time, thank you for watching. Please give us 5-star reviews and subscribe. Bye.
Bye.